Hey Scorpio, thought I would do a different kind of reading tonight, basically for winter solstice. I have these decks that I love by Mel Brown. She's an Aboriginal healer in Australia. I'm waiting on a fourth deck to arrive from her. And I'm going to take a card from each of them. To start off, we'll get to Tarot as well. This is the Goddess Chakra. It will, well, that's self-explanatory. The Healing Oracle deals with past, present, and future, so this card will let us know whether we're dealing with past, present, future. And then the Dreamtime Oracles are stories that have been given to Mel through dreams from her ancestors. And one of the reasons I went looking for these decks, I've gone looking for decks from several different areas of the world where I have personal experiences with who these guides, these spirits, or God, as God presents in different parts of the world. I've had personal dealings with. I live in Manitoba, Canada. I live on Anishinaabe land, and where I live, beadwork is a heavy. Has what do I want to say? Beadwork is one of the main creative outlets of the people, the Aboriginal people that I know. And so these decks with their clear bead, to me, bead influence in the design, that was one reason I gravitated towards them. I love them, but I do love the energy speaks to me of my experiences with Great Spirit, Mother Earth, and Father Sky. I also have African oracles. I work with Kali. She's appeared to me in my home. And there are a few others. Kuan Yin. I really love Alana Fairchild's deck for Kuan Yin, Wild Kuan Yin, where because to me that carries Kala energy, which is another incarnation for me of Kali. And I'm sure that this is the same. The Divine Feminine is capable of many faces. The Orishas I've had personal experience with from Africa, and I don't know if they're actually the same as who guide the Sibyl's Oraculum, the Black Doves, but the Delphi Oracle was always an African prophetess. There's a whole bunch of stuff to get into there. But those are the things that I dig into, and these are the spirits that I rely on, as well as I do love my Jesus. And I've taken apart all of that history. I have a deep understanding because that's what I come from. But I could go on and on, Scorpio, but I'm going to get into this. I'm going to pull the cards. Sorry for rambling a bit, but spiritual things require a bit of discussing sometimes. Especially when this is not my cultural background, and so I need to explain myself a bit. But okay, let's find out I've just realized I still have the cards up from Sagittarius. Sagittarius, well, I'll just talk about it instead of starting over again. Sagittarius, if this is at all relevant to you, Sagittarius was dealing with inhibitions, the sacral chakra, calmness, and past energy, and wondrous opportunities, which speaks of balance and collaborations. All right, now for you specifically, Scorpio, let's get right into it. Okay. Purple chakra, third eye chakra, psychic energy. It's very much your energy, Merlin. Merlin. Meditate on that. That was quick. Now, are we dealing with past, present, or future? Past, present, or future for Scorpio. And winter solstice. Interesting. First one flies. These do not. Getting a little agitated here, guys. Okay, I'm going to time out for a second. Yeah, sorry, I'm getting a lot of I'm assuming it's not me because I trust when I get into readings. Scorpio in time. What's with Scorpio and all levels of time? This has only happened to me once before. So, what I'm going to do is, I'm just going to let it shuffle one more time, and then whatever's at the bottom of the deck is what we're... Look at this. They're just jamming up Scorpio. One more time. Really, just... Okay, they don't even want to shuffle anymore. They don't even want to shuffle anymore. Future energy. Blue. Selflessness. And contentment at the bottom. And we're going to let that speak for itself. Well, let's see if the same is true for the Dreamtime Oracle. Pretty much. Okay, nope. That's clear enough. Okay. Earth Mother. What did they have me talk about so much at the beginning of this reading? I'm gonna go let the cat in the hallway for a minute. Okay, that little clip lasted exactly 2 minutes and 22 seconds. So 222. And now for tarot. Let's see, Scorpio. What is our There we go. Should I really pull any more cards? Someone's trying to speak to you. You're in deep sacred energy right now, Scorpio. Why? flipped. In this deck, the star is numbered with the number that Justice normally gets in other decks. They've switched places. And so in this deck, the star is 17. No. No. It's always 17. I'm thinking of strength. I was automatically thinking of the strength card. And then remembering, no, it's the strength and justice cards in this deck that are switched places. Same difference though. I was thinking strength card for 8. This equals 8 as well. To me, this is a version of High Priestess energy on Earth, knowing that you're protected, looking after yourself, believing in divine timing, knowing that even if there are troubles, that you are going to be guided through them. And of course, the star follows the tower. You're in direct contact, Scorpio, right now. It's between you and Mother Earth. The demiurge, the divine Kali, whoever you identify as, this maternal divine energy. It's like a reflection. Okay. Well, this is all major arcana. This is all major arcana. No, those are sticking. Anything else? This isn't flying out as far. Ten of Pentacles. Well, absolutely. Security, knowing there's more to this life with what follows in the next life or in other dimensions. That even once you've gained everything materially, once you're secure, once you have whatever partner you want or don't want, whatever the situation is that you're building towards, once you have it, you know that it's for this life, to look after your concerns in this life. And that's what this is all about. But you know that it at the same time you're running two lives simultaneously, because you're aware, deeply aware of what the bigger picture is, why there's any point to succeeding in this life, in the material world, insofar as it sustains you so that you can do the spiritual work, so you can do the interdimensional work, since there's war. And we have Merlin right there. So this is very clear, and if this is speaking to you, then you really don't need me to elaborate. You just need to hear what Mother Earth is clearly, what with that whole speech at the beginning, you just need to hear from her directly. And so I will communicate. Merlin is the most famous bard and magician since history began. There are many conflicting stories of his birth, and given his modern-day fame, it's hard to distinguish the difference between fact and fiction. What is fact is his ability to understand physics and combine them with the practice of magic to create a world which was full of wonder and possibility. Merlin's a very old soul who has lived many human lives and is known to be the reincarnation of Taliesin. I'm going to look up the pronunciation of that. The greatest wizard that ever lived. Most importantly, Merlin is known and respected for his prophetic powers. He was a wise man beyond that of any human. His wisdom came from memories of past and insights into the future. He worked at one with universal energies and worshipped the goddess, yet respected the fact that his was not the only belief practiced during his time. He was also gracious and humble, and his respect for other humans often meant he was called upon to become a mediator in disputes in the Kingdom of Britain. You found yourself in a position as mediator. However, unlike Merlin, you are unhappy with this responsibility which has been forced upon you. The people surrounding you know your ability to respect others and bring insight and calm to most situations. Don't be afraid to take on this responsibility. It's a sign of respect from those around you. Deal with the situation using the wisdom which is yours, and trust in your abilities to ensure all sides are represented fairly. It will become evident that the entire situation was a simple misunderstanding, and information that each assumed the other party had was simply that, an assumption. As the dispute is settled, all parties will leave feeling they've won, which will result in a newfound confidence in yourself and your abilities to no longer shy from similar situations. I don't have clarity on that yet, but I'll get it as we go. So let's look at this future then. Alkira, selflessness, which speaks to being the mediator. I just want to show you if it's clear. There's a photo of Mel. Alkira, selflessness, sacrificing, future. Self-sacrificing is only honorable when your sacrifice does not impact on yourself. Trusting in the future. Self-sacrificing is an act where you selflessly give or act in a particular way towards another. The ancestors warn us that being a martyr is not self-sacrificing, as often the choices that are made do not impact others, only yourself. Aboriginal dreaming totem. Give to others only after you have cared for yourself. The act she cares for herself. Right? So this has to be corrected. And there's a rebirth here. There's a rebirth here. Right? You are becoming more and more and more Mother Earth yourself. The act of giving can only be worthwhile if we provide it from a place within us that has something to offer. Once we determine what we actually have to share, our gift becomes more valuable to the person we're sharing ourselves with. So in other words, you can't be miserable when you're doing it because it will... So you have to... But then the double-edged sword of... Again, and that has Okay, so that has everything to do with the Merlin energy. We're getting there. We're getting there. But it has everything to do with accepting that there's a sacrifice that has to be made, and to reach a level of understanding, and within the security of a Ten of Pentacles. Well, let's get to the card itself. Earth Mother. On page 26, which is another 8. Before the Dreamtime existed, the world was dark and cold. The plants were small and barely grew in the damp, dark soil. The few animals that existed burrowed underground where they could huddle together for warmth. One day a lizard, who was so tired of always being cold, ventured above ground to look for a warmer place to live. He walked for days and days, then stumbled upon a small yellow flower that had somehow managed to thrive in the dark, cold conditions. The lizard had never seen a flower before, and was so amazed at its color and beauty that he sat staring at it for days. For days he wished and wished that the other animals who lived beneath the ground could see the beauty of the flower. After days of watching the flower, he became so exhausted he fell asleep. Whilst the lizard slept, a feeling of warmth began to generate throughout his body, and when he opened his eyes, the darkness he had always known had disappeared. The world was warm and bright, and all around him he could see everything so clearly. The lizard looked up toward the bright blue sky and found the source of the warmth and light. The sun had been born. This is a time when things are feeling dark and ominous, and it's just too hard to see beyond the depths of your darkness. Well, who is dark energy but divine feminine? That reflected light. Kali. Don't fear the dark, because dawn always follows close behind. Your darkness is about to end. Prepare yourself for seeing things in the new light of a new day. Each dawn is the opportunity to begin again. So what wonderful things are you going to create? What wonderful bridges are you going to build, Scorpio? Merlin could combine his knowledge of physics, yes? The knowledge of physics. Take that as you will. Adapt it to whatever knowledge is yours. What knowledge? Sacred knowledge. What is your sacred knowledge, Scorpio? But you have to. Yes? But this is all so charted. I think you're basically there. You're there for what you've arrived at, the point in your life where it is about those final stages of the zodiac. It is about Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces energy of the 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th houses. You're completing your Scorpio house, your 8th house. And now it becomes, as far as I'm concerned, I consider all of those to be mutable signs. I would change the earth and air to be mutable in Capricorn and Aquarius. I have reasons for that I'll explain elsewhere, but the finishing of, with that Piscean, that moon, the lunar, the whole sacrifice, Neptunian, the Neptunian energy, but you carry Pluto. So you know about, well, water energy. All of this water that she's recycling, and restoring herself. So however many times you need to be born again, but this is a big one. Because there's only so much you can do in one lifetime. This was huge. I've cried more than once during this reading, Scorpio. I'll be back soon. Much love.